Hello and welcome back. A long break we just had to the M2 podcast. This is your host, Michael Anthony. My co-host right here is Kyle Heath. This is the show where we cover gaming industry related news of basically the last week is what we're supposed to do, but because this is the new episode of season 7, which is freaking crazy to say, I guess has it been 7? No, it hasn't been 7 years. It's just so crazy,
I guess
dude.
it's 6 if you count your seasons.
Yeah, that's true. Wild. Anyways, so what we're going to be talking about this week, or this episode, is sort of just catching up on the big story that happened the last month since our last episode.
Yep.
What happened is that Rainbow Six Siege has a bunch of hackers that apparently handed out billions of dollars of in-game money. 8BitDo had a Xbox Pro controller release, and it looks insane. I'm very excited to yap about that for sure. We have a developer that talks about game pricing and the best way to do successful game pricing for consumers. And then we're going to cut it off with, like, honestly, I think is the biggest tech related story besides like the AI craziness that we were talking about off camera of like the videos is DRAM and price of that and possibly the reason why. And honestly, it's like AI is one of the main reasons for that. But before we get into it, Kyle, how you been? How was your break? Did you play any new games? I know you and I were in the same city not too long ago watching the Panthers play. Would have been really sick if they won, but it was a heck of a game. How you doing, man?
Yeah, no, dude, I'm good. Chilling. I was trying to remember what all I played kind of over this past break. I mean, pretty sure at one point I hopped on Call of Duty for a little bit.
Heck yeah.
Played some of that. Played a little bit of Counter-Strike. Hopped on that for a little bit. I got back into that. Got on a little kind of Rust grind again for a little bit. Just playing that for like a week. First time I'd played in over a year and a half. So it was crazy to kind of get back on that, see all the new stuff they had added.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I mean, those are kind of like the main games I'd say I played. Oh yeah, I also tried for the first time ever Balatro because I had to see what the craze was about.
Dude.
Yeah, but Balatro was.
You still have your mind, or are you consumed?
No, I'm not consumed. I will say, I mean, I did thoroughly enjoy the few sessions I played and like kind of understanding the game, and it's something that I definitely plan to hop back on and see how far I can get in terms of a level.
Very nice.
But no, it was fun. It was cool to see. 'Cause you get. I haven't played like poker or anything in a while, so just understanding the hands again took a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But no, it was still a lot of fun. So definitely plan to jump back on that at some point. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Outside of that, there's. I think at one point I was like, oh, I could hop into some single player stuff, but just never really got around to it over the break. So we'll see. But now, turn of the new year, getting into kind of the thick of winter down south. So it's
Oh yeah, dude.
you know,
It's brutal right now.
yeah, just kind of staying in, playing some games, and I mean, I think for me, I definitely want to hop into some single player stuff at some point. But I'm also just looking forward to Resident Evil. That's coming out, end of February. So that's like kind of my next North Star in terms of gaming right now. So it's finding stuff to do until then. But yeah, do you know outside of that, watching sports, just trying to relax. It's weird. I mean, this is the first time in like a month where I feel like healthy again. Because like for a while I was just like sick. It was like I feel like 2 out of the last like 3 or 4 weeks I've been dealing with something, whether it was like a cold or whatever, is going on, flu, whatever it is. So it's been nice to
feel like
feel good.
it's definitely been some type of flu going on. I know a lot of people that have been getting sick, and then there's in like random places of the country, people have allergies right now. So hopefully it's just something minor for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I want to say at one point it was just like a cold or something like that. But then if I felt like maybe a week or two after I got over that, it was like something I felt something else coming on and had some like sinus issues and stuff. So I don't know if it's I certainly it could be allergies, honestly. At this point, I don't even know because there's nothing like severe, but I don't know, just bad, just really just irritated about it. I think more than anything, just like little things that have been showing up. But I don't know. I've been able to occupy myself and get through it. So, but yeah, I feel like I'm kind of on the other end now. So we'll see how the next week or so goes. But yeah, very much looking forward to that. But yeah, I don't know. Big thing. Went to the, like you said that Panthers game. I have another. I'm going to see, and I told you about this, but I'm going to see the very first Lord of the Rings in theaters because Fathom Events is holding like a movie theater showing for the next, I think this weekend and next, where you can go and watch like all 3 movies, and they're showing them like back to back days. I've only booked the first one this week, so I'm gonna watch that movie. Obviously,
Oh
depending
yeah,
on how the schedule and whatnot goes, like next week I may try
dude.
and catch the second, but I don't know. We'll see.
I hope you have that option to just go through and see all of them in theaters. It's
Yeah,
gonna be an amazing time, and I'm jealous that you get to watch it for the first time. You
yeah. I
know.
mean, because I don't know. Like I heard they were doing this, and I was like, I've never seen them. You've been hyping them up, and
Hmm.
be like, you have to see
Dude,
them. So I'm just like,
yeah,
all right,
like
like this is the time
it's
to do it in the theater. The theater I'm going to has the D box experience too. So apparently, like this seat, because the theater I'm going to, they recently got new seats. They're like
oh
heated,
yeah,
recline, like they're super
oh
cushy, really nice. But they also have like D box features, and so they're doing showings of these movies with that feature work. It apparently like moves the seat to the movie, so you get like haptics
what?
almost like with the movie. It's really weird. Haven't tried it.
What's the name of this theater? I think I'm going. I'm coming to town, bro.
Oh, this one's actually at a Cinemark, and I forget how many like Cinemarks are around in the areas,
There's a
but
lot of them.
yeah, I think it's a chain. But anyway, so I'm going
It
to
is.
I'm going to a local Cinemark, but they just recently added these seats. I think like late last year, and I didn't know about it until I
Yep.
went to the theaters like a month or so ago. But yeah, so the showing I'm going to is gonna have that feature enabled, so we'll see how it affects the experience. But like I feel like this is like gonna be the peak way to watch, especially this first movie and kind of get introduced. It's going to the theaters. I felt like I couldn't miss it.
I'm like super excited for you, honestly. It's
Mm.
gonna be sick.
But yeah, so that's coming up.
Haptic
Um,
feedback. Yeah.
it's coming up Friday night, the night we post this, so I'll be there. So I'll have to share my experience, of course.
Yeah,
Um,
you got to. Honestly, I hope you enjoy it so much on Friday that you're like, I'm coming back tomorrow, and then you just do all 3 movies
You'll have to
in
see.
one
I mean,
run.
you'll have to see. I mean, the specific showing I got, I booked the ticket like 2 or 3 weeks out. And when I booked it, like it's the specific showing with like the D box and all the extra bells and whistles I got, there was only like 2 seats left by the time I had booked it. So I was like, oh, I had to grab one. So
Yeah,
we'll
lock
see
in.
how
Are you
the
going by yourself, or you
yeah,
or
I'm
you got
going by
anybody with
myself.
you?
Now going myself.
Oh,
Everyone else
dude,
is busy, so I'm just gonna have to go myself.
I'm
But I'm not mad about that at all.
you're
So
gonna be locked in to that
yeah,
movie, just
see, that's
unapologetically
the thing,
loving
dude.
life.
Like this is the thing. Like especially like going to the movies and stuff like that. Like I don't know. Like I went to the game alone, right? Like I don't know. There's something about doing that, not having to worry about anyone else. I can just like do what I want, no strings attached, kind of thing. Like I really enjoy
Yeah.
that. So I'm going to
Okay.
this experience alone, and I'm just gonna
I,
be able
I
to kick back and chill. You know?
I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, but um, somebody I know just recently went through and watched the original trilogy. Now they absolutely loved it. However, they said, and I didn't really think about it. They said that the first movie, there were parts where it felt slow when they first watched it,
Mm.
but
Okay.
now they've gone back and watched it again and they love it. So if you have that like mindset of like, okay, it might be kind of slow paced, you might not be used to it, but it's like just pay attention because it all matters
Yeah.
in the end.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
gonna be really cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
I keep that in mind. This is why I'm seeing in theater. Like no distractions, no nothing. I can just chill out and
exactly,
lock
dude.
in. You know.
Yeah,
So see.
I'm so excited for you.
We'll
I want
see.
to go to the theater so bad now just to watch it.
Yeah, it's a nice event. So I got to take advantage
Heck
of
yeah,
it.
dude.
Get a real experience. And I don't know. I mean, and I've noticed that recently, like theaters, like they'll do these showings of older movies, whether it's the anniversary or they're just like, hey, these new movies nowadays suck, and we just want to show old good ones. I don't know. But,
I think yeah, new movies. Yeah, it's just not original anymore. There are a couple of good ones that come out every now and then, but I feel like there's only like a handful of like directors that are actually worth checking out now.
yeah, that's true.
I
I
don't know.
mean,
It's weird in Hollywood.
yeah, I mean, there's only like I mean, I don't know. Like all the main ideas, I feel like have been used. So it's like finding a way to twist that
Yeah.
idea to a different take or a different perspective or something like that. So yeah, it could be kind of hard to do that. But yeah, I mean, to your point, I mean, there's only a few directors where I'm like, oh yeah, going to see that movie. Maybe it was Christopher Nolan or I don't know, Martin Scorsese. Like, there's only a few where it's like, hey, who knows? We're gonna get Quentin Tarantino's. He's apparently supposed to do his last movie still, and hasn't done it. So I don't know. We'll see. But see.
Fact.
Shall we get
So
in?
ready?
Shall we get in?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's episode. Let's talk about Rainbow Six Siege. You're on first, sir.
True.
So weird. It's like we're not even in the rhythm anymore. It's
We're not.
rusty.
This thing, we are rusty. And also, like when I had started the show, when I started the recording, I was on this screen that viewers are looking at right now for like the first 20, 30 seconds. Didn't realize it. So there you go. Just a lot of rust
We're
right
still
now.
out of practice. Yeah.
A lot of rust. It's been a month. So hey, we're trying to get back into it. But let's just talk about some Rainbow Six because this was a huge headline while we were gone. And I remember seeing tweets about this and I was like, is this real? And sure enough, it was. And there's a whole thing. So let's get into it. Kotaku, John Walker. He says Rainbow Six Siege engulfed in chaos after hackers hand out billions of dollars of in-game money. Ubisoft Games suffered a huge attack that forced the game offline over the weekend. This is published on December 29th. So again, 2-3 weeks ago now, but I feel like it's still worth talking about because it's actually insane.
Yeah, it actually matters. It's pretty crazy. It's like ethical hacking to sabotage an industry.
It's pretty wild. So let's get into it. Over the weekend, Ubisoft's Rainbow Six Siege suffered a major hack that saw players flooded with billions of dollars worth of in-game credits. As a result, Ubisoft pulled the game and its marketplace offline. Only in the last few hours has it begun allowing players back in. Ubisoft posted to Rainbow Six's official X account on December 27th that it was aware of the incident and working on a resolution. A couple of hours later, another update added, Siege and the marketplace have been intentionally shut down while the team focused on resolving the issue. The incident was an apparent attack on the R6 servers that saw not only billions of in-game money distributed among players, but also the super rare weapon skins landed in some people's lockers. Renown being handed out like candy, and alpha packs showing up in inventories as well. At the same time, some players reported having their in-game finances entirely wiped out. Unfortunately, there followed an ominous 5 hours of silence from Ubisoft team, during which all manner of rumors spread among the game's community, including that the attack was a cover for stealing all of Ubisoft's source code. There's no evidence of this, and that anyone who spent the vast amounts of money they now found in their account would be banned. The latter rumor became extremely prevalent across social media and Reddit, largely because before the shutdown, an in-game ban ticker had been spamming announcements across player screens for huge numbers of bans. When Ubisoft finally updated its X account, it was to make clear this was not true, saying, quote, nobody will be banned for spending credits received, said the post, noting any messages seen were not triggered by us, but for those thinking Christmas had happened all over again, added, a rollback of all transactions that occurred since 11 a.m. UTC is underway. With the game offline, Ubisoft again went very quiet, this time for 21 hours. Social media teams, please don't do this. Even if you have no news, post to say so. Reassuring people is always it's being worked on. Yes, you're all in crazy panic, but someone can write a sentence on X and stave off a vast amount of misinformation and player distress. Have you ever had a flight delayed? Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, we say this all the time. Like for, even at my company, clients we work with, it's like, especially if something urgent happens and something goes awry, it's important to like every like, especially if it's urgent, like every hour or two, you can at least like send a note, say like, hey, still working on it. Like, it's like at the very least,
You got to
acknowledge
be,
it, know?
You have to be a communicative. Is that the right word?
Communicative.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to let people know what's going on, or at least make them feel like you're working on it. Otherwise, they freak out.
Yeah. Otherwise, they start spreading rumors and they start thinking the worst, right?
So chaos. Yeah.
Good. Sunday at lunchtime, a post appeared explaining that Rainbow Six Siege was being rolled back to its pre-hack state, followed by extreme quality control tests to ensure the integrity of accounts and effectiveness of changes. The update continued, seemingly addressing nearly a day's panic from the R6 community. The team is focused on getting players back into the game as quickly as possible. Please know that this matter is being handled with extreme care, and therefore timing cannot be guaranteed. We'll provide another update as soon as we know more. Thank you all for your patience and understanding as we continue to tackle this. 7 hours later, the tests were complete and a soft launch began, allowing a few players back in to see if anything exploded. Nice little soft launch. It's a lot of tests. You're running the full gambit 5 times. You know what I'm saying? It's taking that long. It's a lot of tests.
It's not so bad though, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the turnaround of 7 hours. I feel like that's kind of quick, right?
I mean, yeah, it depends on the suite of things. Then
Yeah,
by
actually
last
true. Yeah.
night, Rainbow Six Siege was reopened to everyone. The game's state rolled back to early Saturday morning. All purchases made were whether legitimate or with the expected pirate bounty were undone, and freebies handed out have been removed from accounts. It was also noted that a small percentage of players may temporarily lose access to some owned items. Investigations and corrections will continue over the next 2 weeks. The marketplace, however, remains offline as further investigations continue. This isn't the first time Rainbow Six Siege has taken a big hit in 2025. Back in June of 2025, another glitch involving a prepaid cards that saw in-game money inflated cost Ubisoft significant losses. This holiday attack could do much the same. It was, given the scale of the attack, an impressively swift repair, all done and dusted within 48 hours. The only issue, as appears to always be the case in such incidents, was a lack of regular communication with players to quash rumors, or squash rumors, and disinformation. It does, of course, raise significant questions over the security surrounding Rainbow Six Siege X, given that this was possible in the first place. There has been no announcement either way about whether player account information was seen or stolen, but people with accounts might want to change their passwords just in case. There's also been no information about what actually allowed the attack and whether it can happen again. Insane, yeah. I don't know. I saw the tweets about this at first. And I was like, "Is this real?" And sure enough,
The major league.
Rainbow Six tweets out, and they're like, "Hey, it's very much real. We're trying to fix it." But yeah, dude, it's insane. Like, from a hacking perspective too, like getting that amount of currency and just like finding a way to give people fake money. Essentially, it's just like
Yeah.
that's insane. It's like I don't know if I've heard any other game where it was like this level of like exploitation and being able to do that with the system. It makes you wonder how it's structured compared to other games. If it was that easy to like break in and do this kind of thing. So a lot of
Well, I also
questions.
want to know, like, why would that person? Why would they? It's got to be a group of people, right? Why would they do that? You know, wait.
We saw got some
I
enemies,
mean,
bro.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good thing that Rainbow Six was just like, okay, yeah, we're gonna roll everything back. Nobody's gonna get banned for spelling it, spending the credits, and basically they're just gonna reverse everything as if nothing happened. I get that. That makes sense. But it would be ruthless. I think was it Fallout where people were like abusing the game and getting into secret rooms and stealing all the loot or something like that, and then trading it to a main account. So they would do it with a bannable account, then trade it to a main
Yeah,
account, and then Fallout Bethesda came in and were like, "We're gonna ban anybody that got this stuff in the because they found the dev room where
yeah,
all the
yeah.
everything
I think
was."
it was in '76. Yeah, Fall '76.
Yeah,
They like found it.
I
Uh,
think that happened like 3 years ago, maybe four. It was a while ago. It was like during the lockdown era. Yeah, crazy.
that's yeah, it's insane. Probably 6 years ago, almost now. Think about
Oh, jeez.
it. It's kind of insane. Um,
Oh man, time's flying.
but yeah, dude, especially in a multiplayer game, it's like really bad if you're like finding stuff like that and do this kind of
Oh,
exploits.
dude.
So yeah, man, it's quite insane. I mean, good old Ubisoft for turning around quickly. Another thought I had when it happened, it was like I feel like this could be like a quick fix. I mean, to the article's point, 48 hours isn't bad for something of this magnitude. So I'll give them credit there. But yeah, I mean that happened around Christmas. It's like those devs got a very Merry Christmas apparently, and to fix that. So and
That's a fact.
that's a week like
Got to call
everyone's
them all back
off.
in.
That's a week everyone's
Yeah.
off. Like it's like people try to take off for the New Year too. It's like it's bad.
Yeah, that's why if you're a developer or you're like in tech and you go on vacation, you should just, unless it's in your contract and you had to be connected to the internet, I would just disconnect and end up on an island somewhere. Can't work if you can't connect. That's what I'm saying.
It's true.
That'd be ideal.
It's definitely true. But I don't know. Yeah, interesting article. Yeah, again, it's one of the bigger stories that happened while we were away. So felt like we had to comment on it.
Oh yeah.
2 cents.
All right. So shall we move on to the next article?
Bang, I believe so.
This one is coming from Games Radar. Duncan Robertson wrote this article this week. I'm very excited about this. It was announced, it had to be like 2 weeks ago. and I haven't seen a whole lot of people actually cover it. I'm curious what Duncan's gonna say. I got some thoughts too that I'll probably sprinkle in and like why this controller like really matters, in my opinion, even at the price point it's at. But let's get into the article. It's called 8BitDo's new Xbox Pro controller looks like the Elite Series 3 we never got. I feel like that's fair. If you don't have an 8BitDo uh, controller, they're basically retro style controllers that work with modern hardware. They do, however, make more traditional, not traditional, traditional is not the word, more modern like controllers. I have the original Pro controller that they have. It's phenomenal. It works fantastic. I use it to like basically, I don't use it on my PC ever now that I think about it, but I use it on my tablet when I'm doing like cloud streaming. I'll use it on my TV. I've used it on my Nintendo Switch, which is the big one that I got it for. But anyways, let's get into why this controller is interesting. So 8BitDo's new Xbox Pro controller looks like the Elite Series 3 we never got. I'd be shocked if we saw an Elite Series 3 controller in 2026. And devices like the 8BitDo Ultimate 3E, is what it's actually called, are the reason why. Okay, beloved gaming accessory brand 8BitDo is coming out with a new officially licensed Xbox Series X controller called the 8BitDo Ultimate 3E. We only got the Ultimate 2 range of controllers last year, but already the Ultimate 3 looks like it's targeting a much more serious player, and that's in quotes. So the Ultimate 3E looks so feature rich, in fact, that it may be able to fool people into thinking it's the official Elite Series 3 controller that was never released. It has an iconic Xbox design, with even its circular D-pad making it look like an official Xbox product. It's what's lurking behind appearances that that's getting him excited though. All right, so Duncan goes on to say not only is the Ultimate 3E armed with TMR thumbsticks, which is basically the most modern thumbsticks you can get with no stick drift, but it's got a semi-modular design that will let you swap out the face buttons, D-pad, and thumbstick tops to suit your liking. While Duncan over here would love a fully modular build like the one on the Victrix Pro BFG for Xbox, he does love that more brands are starting to dabble in this way of thinking. To be honest, the first time I ever saw modular to like a large scale was the Thrustmaster. And then after that, I noticed PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 Edge
The
controller had
Edge,
it.
baby.
And then I saw Victrix come out, and then it's just like been more and more budget friendly. Or what's the other one? Gilly Kit also has one as well. It's very cool that these guys are doing it too. And it makes sense because hopefully they'll show it. The D-pad, because of the way it's positioned, could be similar to how it's like you could probably swap out the buttons to match a PlayStation or match a Switch controller. But the fact that this is licensed by Xbox is sick because that means you can use it wirelessly with the Xbox Series X or any of the consoles really. So, Duncan, never been a fan of clicky face buttons. 8BitDo is providing smooth silicon or micro switch face button modules. Conveniently, the modular parts are disguised under a removable faceplate to keep the brand's premium look. And honestly, I think that might keep the crud out of the buttons. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
might help you.
It could be kind of like a shield. Could help at least a little bit. All right, so similarly, if you're not a fan of the circular D-pad, there's a traditional four-way one in the Ultimate 3Es, including included carrying case. The extra parts here are pretty impressive, along with the aforementioned modular bits. You get three choices of thumbstick tops, a dome-shaped top, a thick neck variant, and a taller option. As is standard for a lot of the best PC controllers these days, you'll also have a charging stand and wireless support. Dude, the charging stand is always sick, and you'll see it in the next photo here. It's very seamless for anybody that's never seen this style of controller from them. Compared to the 8BitDo Ultimate 2, the designers have slightly lengthened the grip shape and made it a wee bit broader, which arguably moves it away from a Switch 2 feel into a more traditional Xbox shape. I think that is fair to say. Yeah, for sure. The Ultimate 1 and 2 is like so narrow that it's like it it's basically a Switch controller. Entirely designed to be that. But here's some interesting topics for the nerds. Along with TMR thumbsticks, competitive players will have access to Hall effect impulse triggers with two-way trigger stop buttons, two back buttons, and two additional bumper buttons. There's a polling rate of 1000 Hz, gyro aiming, and 2.4 Hz wireless play on Xbox and PC, and for folks using a wired headset, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. That basically classifies as an elite controller, that entire section right there.
It's true.
It's pretty sick. So, despite a few wishful thoughts and calls from fans, it doesn't seem like we're any closer on getting an official Elite Series 3 controller anytime soon, and I'd personally be really surprised to see one hit the shelves this generation. While I would love to see a follow up to the Elite Series 2, which arguably informed the design of many of today's Pro controllers, it seems like Xbox has shifted strategy. The upcoming 8BitDo Ultimate 3E isn't the only Xbox controller packing this rich of a feature set. The GameSir G7 Pro, which has been out for a while now, the Hazard Wolverine V3 Pro, and the Power A Fusion Pro, and the Asus ROG Raikiri, I think. Raikiri, hopefully I pronounced that right. Raikiri 2 are all examples of officially licensed Pro controllers that have come out in the recent times that have ramped up to the Pro Spirit of third-party pads, offering wireless play, swappable parts, and programmable buttons. To me, aka to Duncan, you only have to look so far as Xbox using Asus to make its handheld devices. It's licensing out the hardware manufacturing to other brands and putting it under the Xbox umbrella. That way, fans are still satisfied, but most of the manufacturing costs will rely elsewhere. I agree with that. Honestly, I like how they're just signing them to deals so you can have wireless controllers for the Xbox because that's the proprietary stuff that Xbox doesn't let you have unless you're a licensed controller hardware manufacturer. So, with all rumors pointing towards the next Xbox being a larger departure from the traditional console and being more of a gaming PC, and apparently being closer to the market than we think, I'd be more inclined to believe that a new controller will launch alongside that. The other thing to bear in mind is that we never got the FTC leaked project Sabile. Am I pronouncing that right? Hopefully. Sabile?
Yeah.
Nah. Two L's. Sebille.
Sabile.
That's what I want to say it is, but I don't know, man.
Sabile. Sabile. Isn't it like two L's, like Spanish?
Sabile.
Sabile.
Sabile. All right. Sabile controller that was going to make haptic feedback a main priority. If that mid-generation Xbox Series X refresh was going to happen, I think we'd maybe have seen it by now. Whether its features are being ported over to the next-gen machine, we'll need to see. 8BitDo hasn't given a release date or price on the Ultimate 3E yet, but Duncan over here is going to keep his eyes peeled. And then it shows the selection for the existing controllers that you can get Amazon, Best Buy, the ones that were mentioned before, and I'm sure those are all affiliate links. So here is something that this article doesn't mention. It only mentioned it very briefly, and I think it was in like one of the third, like middle of the pack paragraphs. It says there's a polling rate of 1000 hertz, gyro aiming, 2.4 gigahertz wireless play on Xbox and PC, and for folks using a wired headset, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I only care about the gyro aiming. And let me explain this to you. And for visual learners, I got my controller right here. So with gyro, you go up and down, right? Left and right. Like most controllers now kind of already have that. At least the PlayStation one does. PlayStation's had it since PS4. Maybe. Nah, yeah, PS4. But basically, if you're steering or you're moving or like you're going up and down, you can aim now without using your joystick. And you just tilt your controller. Okay? What this controller allows you to do natively without software is you can combine your gyro aiming with your joystick aiming. And the reason why that matters is if somebody's like a crazy elite controller player, they could be using their joystick to like left and right, up and down, move around the map, but also aim your reticule. And then while you're firing in like shooter games where there's recoil, you can use haptic feedback or this gyro aiming to like go down or go up to offset your aim. So I'm thinking like, dude, if there's somebody that's like a pro gamer that's just freaking cracked, I could see a future where the controller could be as talented, like as native and as skillful as using a mouse. I
Could
could
be
see
as
that happening.
influential.
That's what I mean, dude. And it's going to be freaking crazy when that reality happens. I think this controller, that will be the number one thing from this controller that I think is worth trying out. The gyro aiming while you're aiming with like a joystick traditionally. Now, it's only going to matter for people that are really playing shooters. I don't see it being a big issue if you're, I don't know, racing games maybe, possibly. Like, could you imagine? I got a hard turn. Just it what's really funny is, I don't. Back in the day when people are new to games, and um, when I was growing up, I always gave people like a controller for the first time, and now most kids under the age of like 10 have used a controller. But when you were in high school and you were the kid that was like started playing video games when you're like 7 or 8, and you're hanging out with your buddies and they're like 15, you guys are teenagers, they never played a game before, and they're playing like fighter or shooter games with you, and they're physically moving with the
Yep.
controller because they don't understand how the aiming works. Now they're gonna be able to, like, totally do that. There's gonna be a generation of kids playing with controllers like this, and that will be the norm, is, like, swaying around, full body motion while they're gaming. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I don't know. I think the whole idea of controlling the recoil with the controller is kind of funny. It makes me wonder how practical it's gonna be to like actually try and do that in some games. So
I got news for you, people do it already in COD.
I gotta see some footage of this on the world.
O okay, so I'll give you the rundown of some just totally SHIT, okay? You can change your, gyro aiming, like, fluctuation, so where if if you move your controller just a little bit any direction, it will go 100%. Kinda like trigger stops, but for gyro aiming. So
Like
what people
sensitivity.
realized, yes, a sensitivity setting. So what people realized, especially in Call of Duty, because if you look at the Call of Duty spray pattern, it's not like Counter-Strike or Valorant, where it goes in like the pattern's always the same in these shooters,
Mhm.
so long as you're holding it down, right? But in COD, it's mostly vertical, pretty much all weapons. They vary based on like multitude of factors and the gun type and like blah blah blah. But it doesn't really go left or right. Like you've seen Counter Strike, the AK does the really fancy S. Like everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can predict it and get it right and make it really accurate. In COD, it's really just like up and to the left, up and to the right, that kind of thing. It's not that big of a deal. So what they found out is that they can program the accuracy and how far it pulls down with the gyro based on the gun that they're using. So when you see streamers that are just locked the F in and they're holding on the trigger, it's because they're doing this and aiming. So it's like it's already going on, dude. It's one of the reasons why DS4 Windows isn't allowed in Call of Duty anymore because that feature exists in the program.
But now they can't ban it if you use the controller. Unless they just ban the controller, bro.
That's what's literally that just happened. Apex Legends Imperial Hell $2 million tournament got banned the day of because he was using a controller that it was impossible to turn off the macros that were built into it. Imperial Hell's so freaking good, he doesn't need the macros.
I
Let's
mean,
call it what
yeah.
it is. But because the controller can do that, means you can't use that controller. I think because of the gyro aiming, all gyro aiming controllers, hands down, should be banned from all competitive money matches. 100%. There are games where like the recoil doesn't matter at all. Like to be honest, shooters at least. So who cares? But in Call of Duty, it matters. And what I'm more excited about is the future where the gyro aiming's so accurate and people can become so good at it, where you can change the settings with it. You can compete with the controller against people in like Counter Strike. That would be unreal.
Be insane.
Could you imagine being on main stage and your opponent's on the other side with a controller? No chance.
Uh,
I mean, what I'm saying is like that will happen. I think that's my bold prediction for competitive gaming in the future.
Yeah, it's insane to think about. Um, the next innovation in controller tech. It's
Oh, yeah,
just moving the controller.
it's unreal, dude. It's unreal. Anyways,
It's insane.
that all said and done, I'm probably gonna get this controller.
Yeah.
If it's less than 150
Yeah.
bucks, I'm probably gonna get it because I've been wanting a wireless controller that is more similar to an Elite controller that's already a sell because it has 200 buttons, and then it has another two up by the trigger and bumpers. That would be sick. I've been playing a lot of couch co-op games, and I'm very excited. Dude, you don't understand how much you want back buttons until you're playing Doom: The Dark Ages on the couch, on the TV, and you have no back buttons. It takes for freaking ever to sort through all the guns sometimes. So
Oh,
I need something like that.
well, yeah, the model itself looks to me like it resembles a Switch Pro controller the most. I mean, I could definitely see
Yeah,
obviously the resemblance an Xbox, but it's got that Pro controller shape, which I think is like the most
it,
comfortable controller for me, at least. So
I I agree. It's just a little bit more wide, I
yeah,
think. You would really like the Ultimate 2, like hands down. You'd like the Ultimate 2. I can say that confidently.
I
They're
like
like
the
really
charging
nice
dock.
controllers. They're really smooth.
I like the
Dude,
charging
doesn't it
dock.
look smooth? It's
Nice, you just set it
seamless.
there and have it
Yeah.
somewhere to place. It charges, obviously. That's nice.
Mhm. It doesn't show in this picture, but they have like a little stand. So the stand is the charging dock. They have a plug for it, and it has an LED that can like kind of light up and give it that little accent. But there's a little hatch underneath that has a USB stick for Bluetooth connectivity to like just plug straight
Oh yeah.
into any USB and you're good to go. The problem is, I hope maybe we will get more information later. The problem is like these consoles, they don't really have the ability to go from console to console. Controllers don't really have the ability to go to console between Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. There's not really that ability without using a third party dongle, which kind of sucks. But yeah,
Yeah,
one day.
uh, yeah, it's not fun. But I mean, it's a step in the right direction. I don't know. I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
this. I mean, the controller itself looks sick too. It looks aesthetically appealing. Looks like it's got the feature set.
Yeah,
Um.
just
So yeah,
clean,
no,
dude.
yeah. I mean, I'm certainly intrigued. I'll be curious to see how much it is. I mean, I think eventually I do want to get like a new like end all be all controller, that I can use.
I
Because I
think
mean,
this might
I'm
be it,
still
brother.
using I'm still using like stock Xbox controller whenever I'm like playing controller games, but
You wild.
let's clean.
You wild for that?
Let's clean, man. I mean, I
Gotta
don't use
wake up.
controllers often. I certainly don't really play shooters on controller very often, so I don't feel the
Yeah.
need for back buttons.
That's
But these
You
controllers
play
are
mouse and
sick, dude.
key on COD the last couple weeks?
I mean, yeah, if I was playing COD, it was mouse key, but yeah, it's obviously if I wanted to take it more seriously, whipping the controller, but yeah, I don't know, I just didn't do that. I don't know, man. It looks nice. I want another price point, dude.
Yes, sir. All right, hit me with the next article, sir. Tell me what's going on.
Speaking of price points, we talk about this. Talk about this here. Got an article from IGN. Rebecca Valentine. Zigot. Um, Peak developer explains successful game pricing. $8 is still $5. See, I wanted to talk about this because I read the initial quote. Like the initial quote in this article, and like it's how I've thought about like especially games and stuff. I've literally thought about the same thing or like something similar of like, yeah, if you price something at $12, it's like okay, it's kind of like $10. You can price something at
Yeah.
13. It's kind of like I see all
Dude.
these meme games. I'm like, oh, they priced it at like 8, but I'm like, that's clever because like it's slightly above 5, but it's under 10, so it's like it's easy sell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this.
That's how it starts, dude.
Peak, popular cooperative climbing game, costs $5, except it actually costs $8, which is basically $5, and it's on sale right now for just under $5, which is also $5. But if it dropped down to $3, it would actually be $2, which is basically free. What? You're probably thinking right now, what? Hear me out. That's what Rex says. Hear me out. It kind of makes sense. This goofy pricing scheme comes directly from Peak co-creator Nick Kaman in an interview with GameFile, where he explains how his team came to the game's actual sale price of $7.99. In the interview, he shares a theory about indie game pricing vibes that the team floated around as a bit of a joke that still has some truth behind it. We had this joke of, like, how much is a game really? In the player's mind, what does it mean to spend $5? Well, that's $5. But $6? Well, it's still $5. $4 is also kind of $5. $3 is $2, and $2 is basically free.
That's right.
Said quote. So we've got these tiers. $12, that's $10. $13 is $15, and we found that $8 is still $5. It doesn't become $10. $7.99, that's $5, right? So $8 going to $5 is the biggest differential we could find in pricing. So we found it very optimal. If you're still reeling from this a bit, what Kaman is trying to say here is that a person getting ready to spend money on a game might see a price tag of $7 or $8 and psychologically not feel it's that different from $5. But if a game is $9, it feels more expensive, closer to $10. And if a game is $2, it feels basically free to them. There's no exact science behind this, to be clear, but Kaman is working off his 7 years of experience at Aggro Crab, and it seems to have worked out for the team. Peak launched in June of 2025, and by August, it had sold 10 million copies. Though its player base has naturally and understandably shrunk since launch, it's still pulling in tens of thousands of people per day, which is a huge feat for such a small game. Peak is currently on sale for $4.95, which is almost actually $5, and the lowest price it's ever been offered for. It's also significantly cheaper than basically everything AAA, as major publisher game prices in recent years have slowly crept up from $60 to $70, and now even $80, a price that definitely doesn't feel like $5 or $10. Meanwhile, discussions in the indie game community about what to charge for a game remain ongoing, following a $20 price hike of Hollow Knight Silksong, causing some to panic about how it would impact their own prices. So that was the end of the article. It's a fairly short article, but initially hearing that quote, it really made me think, and I think it's clever. I mean, it's certainly smart, but I think also, there's probably a lot of like gamers that at some point you're looking at that meme game with your friends, and you're like, oh, it's only like $12. Like, that's not too bad. And like, why don't we get it, dude? It's cheap. Or like, it's only $8. And like in the back of your head, you're like, I mean, it's only a couple extra bucks over $5. Why not? That's not that bad. Yeah, like, that's only under 10. That's actually
it's not bad. I mean,
and
then, what about Game Pass?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly.
$8.99 a month.
It's the price of a battle pass. Like, it's not that bad. But like, yeah, if you look at this stuff.
Yeah, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's you look at stuff. It's like, and before you know it, you make this game for $8. It sells 10 million copies, and you're like, oh, 8 times 10 million. Obviously, there's cuts and stuff by publishers and whatnot, but it's like a significant amount of sales. So it adds up quick.
Yes.
And it goes back to the thing. You make a good game, it will sell. But yeah, I mean, it's just so true. And I like reading that, I was like, yeah, he definitely gets it. And I think it probably wasn't hard to ultimately decide the price of what they were going to make this game, especially after a discussion like that. Because you can kind of get away with stuff in a way if you price it a certain way, and you could kind of play around with psychology and think about what would majority of consumers feel. And this is very much the case. I mean, and I think it's smart too, because you look at the differences between $60 games, $70 games, $80 games. It's like, as it goes up $10, you've seen the community start to kind of backlash and kind of back away and be like, no, I'm not going to get that because it's $80. Like, we're seeing consumers start to kind of walk away from that. So yeah, it's an article that I think AAA games are never going to get down to this kind of price. But I think it could be worth them to actually discuss internally. And don't get me wrong, games aren't getting more expensive to make. No one's denying that. But just trying to figure out ways to make a good game to sell more, but also it'd be fun. Either, I don't know, like art DLC or something, like art DLC, but like skins, stuff like that, like stuff that's actually meaningful and like people would like.
Yeah.
And like, actual the thing is, if you make the game well enough, People are going to want to support you, and they're going to be like, all right, what's in the store?
Exactly.
What's in the store? I could buy some skins, or I could do this, or something. You know what I mean? So, but you should always come back. It should always come back to making a good game, but pricing can be important, especially an entry price to a game. I think it's important to think about.
I think that's a fair assessment. I think it's more of like he mentions that it's not an exact science. I think it is. I think you can run like the data and do the analytics to determine what's people's cutoff point on average for like this particular game. Now, yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of different factors, but there's got to be some type of like psychological study you can do to see where people's lines are. Like in the US, European mind would never. But in the US, if the speed limit's 45, how fast are you going?
I'll push a little
Like
50.
40.
Put a little 50.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, go a little higher.
What if it's like 25? You're going to go 30?
Probably certain contexts probably get away with it. If I go to like a school zone, I see 45.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, the flashing lights there. I guess I'll go the speed limit because it's like $1 billion you
Yeah,
can pull.
100%.
It's like,
Oh, 100%. Or if you go to like the airport and they always have those signs that are like it's 15 miles per hour. I don't mess with going above 15.
no,
No
especially if
chance.
it's busy,
I don't
right?
mess
Like,
with
you
it in gated communities either. No chance. Even like, dude, I've been there in like 3 a.m. Only flight coming into town. It's
can't.
speed limit 15. I'm doing 10.
I'm still
I'm chilling
creeping up on
because
the curb.
there's a narc somewhere,
Cops
and they're
chilling.
coming for me. They want that ticket. They want to give that ticket 100%.
It's true.
So what I'm saying is like I think there's some type of psychological thing, not just towards the money, but the number, the value of like whatever it might be, what it represents, you know? It's like there's such a crazy what's that maybe I shouldn't bring him up. Who's the guy that plays Seth Rogen's who's like was Seth Rogen's really good friend? James Franco. Before all the accusations. He has a whole thing where he plays as like 100 millionaire rich dude and he goes, I'm down to my last 9 million. And then his like his buddy or like his assistant whispers in his ear, he goes, 989 million. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, come on. It's like numbers just mean differently to certain people, I think, and what it represents to them is what I'm trying to get at.
It's all about
But
perspective.
yeah, I think that's yeah, it's perspective. That's probably the easiest way to explain it. I think it's really cool though. I like this joking manner of like, yeah, $8. I mean, like, that's $5, man.
It's
Dude,
kinda
$3. $3 for like anything is practically free. That's like nothing.
Yeah, it actually be
Kidding me?
$2. By the time it's $2, dude, it's like you could
You
literally
can't buy
talk about this.
Coca-Cola for less than 2.
You could equate this to CS:GO case keys. Like you get a case, right? The key is $250. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
that's easy. I bought 3
Yeah.
keys since we last did this podcast because I'm like, because you're with your friends in the car and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna rip a case. So you buy a key, $250. Like, you share your screen. You're like, all right, is this the knife? And then you click it. It's like, and then you don't get it. You're like, maybe next time.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like it's basically
And it
nothing.
and it happens with not just like the CS:GO keys, it happens with everything. Like as you go throughout your day, it's like, oh, I'm walking by 7-Eleven. Why should I go in there and get myself a Snickers bar? And the Snickers bar is only like $2. And then when you walk in there, you can't find the regular size Snickers bar anymore. They're giant freaking Snickers bar. I just want the small one. But you can't find the small one.
Go to a 7-Eleven, you walk in.
King size, always.
You walk in, you see the taquitos, you're like, okay, wait, you got any hot ones in there right now? You're just like, all right, grab 2 of those for like $5. And then you just go to the counter. Dude. And then
Sometimes I see them taquitos, I'm like, yo, talk dirty to me, bro.
So too.
QT, Quick Trip?
I smacked
Remind me of Caleb Hammer. He'd be so upset right now.
Literally, hey man,
Just screaming to the
it's bad too. There's a 7-Eleven opening up literally like not far, like down the street from where I live. It's gonna be over, dude. It's gonna be over,
bro.
man.
You know where I live. You were in town. You know how many freaking 7-Elevens I walk by?
Dude.
And Quick
It's
Trips?
bad in Uptown, bro. Walking down.
Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
It's like, 7-Eleven. It's like a bodega. You just walk in.
Yeah. Why shouldn't I go in there and get the 2 Celsius for $5? Why shouldn't I?
Why should I go in there? $4 monster. Why shouldn't I?
That's a fact. I've been laying off the monsters recently, though. Thank you very much.
Amen.
All right, brother. We're gonna be yapping about numbers for a while now. Let's move on.
Time to yap out some more numbers. saying?
Oh, yeah. All right. So, headliner story of basically the last month, relatively. RAM is through the freaking roof. We're going to talk about why. Spoiler AI. Let's get into it. Why is RAM so expensive right now? It's way more complicated than you think. Oh, dang. So maybe it's not AI. Wayne Williams, awesome name, by the way. Love that. From Tech Radar. So, Wayne, he's yapping about RAM. Yes, AI is partly to blame for surging prices and DRAM shortages, but that's not the whole story. All right, give us the intel, brother. What's going on? RAM used to be one of the easiest PC components to ignore. You picked a capacity that matched your needs and budget, checked the speed corresponded with the motherboard, bought what you needed, dropped it into your computer, and forgot all about it. I like that. I've seen a couple of memes, by the way, just like side note. You seen the Interstellar meme where you got not Bradley Cooper, Matthew McConaughey's character banging, like, don't let me leave, Merv. It's like, I saw somebody
Yeah.
say, when you're checking out and you're old, like, you were buying 16 gigabytes of RAM. It was like 2 years ago. It's like, buy more RAM. How much RAM do you have? How many gigs?
32.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling.
Peasant. I
Rolling.
got 64. Get that out of here. Get that out of here.
This guy's running the server on
I
his
knew
PC.
what I was.
What is going on?
I make sure I don't need to upgrade again. When I buy electronics, I'm not upgrading for like 7 years. I got a new TV for the holidays. My old one was 11 years old. This phone I got this year, well, at the beginning of the year, my old one, 7-year-old phone. I'll be living in the dark
You run
ages.
into the
I
ground,
buy
dude.
the future, then move into the dark ages.
I'm in year 4 on this thing. This year.
Talk to me when you get to year 7, all right? Talk to me
I'm pretty sure it
when
was
your
like,
battery
hey
life,
man,
like 2 phone calls and that sucker's at half battery life. Talk to me then, dude.
it's relatable. I think my last phone was like 5, 6. I don't even know what it was. A while. So yeah, I take a while to upgrade. I won't lie.
I mean, there's no need to sometimes.
Yeah.
As long as you like, you got to build for the future, man.
Battery stinks on this thing right now, though. So
Yeah,
it's kind of unfortunate.
yeah, that's how it is. It's either you lose performance or you lose battery.
Yeah,
I would rather lose battery because now you can get this like portable chargers anywhere you go, and they're like super cheap
yeah,
and
it's true.
super efficient now.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. Where am I at? Yeah, if you've been following the news lately, and I'm sure you have, you'll know memory prices have surged so fast that RAM is now on the most volatile and confusing parts of the entire PC market, and the effects are spreading well beyond desktop builds. What appears to be a simple price spike is actually the result of several overlapping shifts in how memory is manufactured, from whom it's made, and where manufacturers expect to generate revenue over the next few years. On December 11th, TrendForce, which owns RAM price marketplace uh, DRAM, DRAM Exchange, I'm an idiot, published a damning report that highlights how the rapid surge in RAM prices could impact smartphones more than laptops and desktops one would expect. On the latter platform, 8 gigabytes will remain the entry level standard for the foreseeable future, a potential setback for Microsoft, who advocated the move to 16 gigabytes to give Windows 11 a bit more wiggling room. Yeah, you kind of need it for Windows 11 and just
Yeah,
Windows products in general.
it's true.
Entry level smartphones, which represent the bulk of new mobile handset sales, will most likely stay at 4 gigabytes, the same amount of memory one would find on cheap smartphones 10 years ago. I think my phone has 8 gigabytes.
I don't know how
I
much my iPhone
think.
has, but
I'm
I
curious.
to the
Go ahead.
point though is like 80. I'm sorry, I don't care what you do. I feel like the baseline should be 16 gigs of RAM, like on a desktop anyway. You know what I'm saying? Even on a
On a
laptop.
desktop for sure.
Like even on a laptop, dude. Like I don't see any reason to go under 16, in my opinion. Like even if you're just like browsing the web on that thing, you know, like you have 10 Chrome tabs, dude. You're already struggling. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it gets used up pretty quick. So like I don't know. I think 16 is the standard. I understand they probably think 8 is. That was 10 years ago, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, eight's not enough for desktops. I think 4 isn't enough. I think 8 should be minimum for handhelds.
Yeah.
My current phone, I just had to Google it. I have 12 gigs.
I can't remember how
I
much
went high end.
I can't remember how much my iPhone has. Probably 12.
I bet your iPhone has 4.
Yeah, probably. I don't even know if there's a
There's no
quick way
way
to
it
even
has 2.
check. I don't even know. Let's see. See if it's a
What do
quick
you
rank
have?
check. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max. Try to see in the
14
settings.
Pro Max RAM. You 6 GB. I
Oh,
feel like that's fair.
frying, cooking.
Yeah,
I
a
I
little
will
bit
say
higher than normal.
I will say that your Android like it is nice. Like you can obviously have like a fucking like the multi window, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I
Like you
showed it
can,
to you,
yeah, you
haven't
can
I?
go crazy with
It's
it. The
insane.
multitasking is nuts. So yeah, you kind of need the 12 because yeah, the multitasking is crazy.
Yeah. Dude, I'm over here. I've had it before where I have like two streaming things. I've had pinned, um, what's it called? Like, so I basically have multiple things that pop up when I'm texting,
Yeah,
where I can have floating heads similar to like most
yeah,
like
like bubbles and stuff
apps.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I have loads of bubbles constantly. I can turn any app on my phone into a bubble while I'm watching things as well, like
that's kind
streaming.
of cool.
I can have multiple streams open at the same time. It's freaking crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
you need 12. No, you need
Um,
16 on that thing. You know what I'm saying?
hey, that's a facts. All right, let's continue on. So, as a market observer, I say that the current situation set us back at least a decade in terms of affordability and innovation. The current RAM situation is going to negatively impact client based AI as vendors cut down on RAM at almost all price points, which some cynics may say is great news for hyperscalers. Meanwhile, Framework, an up and coming PC and laptop maker that has captured the minds of enthusiasts and prosumer, has confirmed it will increase the price of DDR5 memory upgrades by a shocking 50%, as it simply cannot absorb the cost increase and has it pass it on to customers. It has to pass it on to customers. They have not, however, changed the price of the 128 gigabyte of the Framework desktop, which is one of the 30 odd devices that use the AMD Ryzen AI Max Plus 395 APU, which comes with 128 gigabytes of RAM as standard. Furthermore, Framework went to great lengths to explain how the amount of memory used by a single data center could equip more than 1 million laptops. For example, a single NVIDIA GB300 rack can contain 32 terabytes of a mix of HBM3E and LPDDR5X memory.
Dude,
Is your
37
main is
terabytes
your
is huge, bro. That's so
it's
much
insane.
of RAM, dude.
Insane. Yeah.
Wow.
Of RAM. Yeah,
Wow.
these data racks are pretty freaking crazy. Honestly, the only reason why I know what the heck is going on is because I've built virtual servers and like dedicated servers for different video games. And like buying kind of a like the human mind cannot comprehend, but it's like buying a row in an entire server rack so you can host games. It's kind of
Jeez.
that's
Yeah.
like an easy way to visualize it, but it's not like that. It's like multiple people are having partial sections of various parts of a computer in order to operate on it. It's
Yeah.
insane how they made it work. Yeah. 37 terabytes of RAM is insane.
Bro,
And
like
that's a single
it's
rack.
insane.
That's a single rack, dude.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, we're in line.
Yo. Okay, let's continue on. I can only applaud the level of transparency and the fact that they will take strict measures to prevent scalping. Nirav Patel, the CEO of Framework, said in a statement that we are adjusting our return policy to prevent scalpers from purchasing DIY edition laptops with memory and returning the laptops while keeping the memory. Laptop returns will also require the memory from the order to be returned. Yo, that's gonna be insane.
That's so funny though. I mean, the prices get that bad. It's like those are the extent people are willing to take to try and get memory. Oh man.
I mean, yeah, scalpers been doing that for ages. I mean, that's just straight up scam. I knew people that like it's as ridiculous as like buying an Xbox, saying it's faulty and returning it and then putting bricks in it. It's like, come on, what are we doing? All right, so AI makes waves. At the center of the problem is DRAM, the type of memory used in PCs, laptops, phones, console servers, and cars. Although most people just call it RAM, nearly all modern system memory is DRAM, including DDR4, 5, LPDDR, GDDR, and HBM. Those different formats serve different roles, but they come from the same production ecosystem. And that is controlled by just three memory giants: SK Hynix, Samsung, and Micron. Yeah, jeez. All right, together they account for more than 90% of the total random access memory (RAM) market. Yo,
Dude, it's
that is an
that's crazy.
insane
I mean,
monopoly. What is Micron's stock right now? Talk to me.
probably insane. Yeah, probably insane.
338. Yep,
I mean,
that's about right.
dude, I look.
Yep.
I'm sure it's gone up a lot recently too. I mean, I look at these three names. I mean, obviously, like Samsung, like that's got to be a huge part of their business. And it's like you don't think about that as Samsung, right? Because they're so consumer facing with like their name brand like products, right? So it's like, I mean, it's crazy what a company like Samsung does outside of just like general appliances and whatever like technology like that's it's facing to the
Dude,
customer. It's like they're
anything
goats
that's
dominating, right?
electronic, Samsung basically makes at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think people sleep on them. They're a Korean band, right? Yeah, Samsung.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's insane.
they're insane, dude.
They're worth
Crazy.
their values probably way more than people imagine. I'm sure.
Apparently, it's 147,000 whatever Korean dollars is. I don't know what it's called. I'm not educated, guys. I'm sorry. It's a
I,
lot.
I,
Basically, $20. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what the exchange rate is either.
and
All right, let's continue on. All three happen to be major players in NAND, NAND, as well, the building blocks of SSD. There are a handful of other DRAM players, CXMT, Nanya being the two main ones with smaller brands located in mainland China. For years, that concentration didn't feel like it was a problem as production was steady, demand was predictable, and price swings were usually gradual enough for consumers and OEMs to play around. Prices went up, they went down. If you needed some more RAM and weren't in a rush, you could wait until Black Friday deal. That all started to change before most people even noticed. Well before the AI boom reached the crazy heights it is now. DRAM makers were already preparing for a transition away from older memory types. DDR4, LPDDR4 were built on aging process nodes that manufacturers wanted to retire. Those older nodes were less profitable and blocked capacity that could be used for newer, higher margin products. Micron and others issued end of life notices for several DDR4 and LPDDR4 parts, pushing customers to secure supply while they still could. That had the knock on of creating early shortages and price spikes in memory that should have been getting cheaper. Then AI spending exploded. Dang, dude. That always really upsets me, but I know it's like that's just business now. The older nodes were less profitable and blocked capacity that could be used for newer and higher margin products. It goes into like the car market too, you know what I mean? Like this isn't everything, but the car market ones where instead of building cars that people actually want that are affordable, like Ford is a great example of this. Most people want like a Ford Ranger or a Ford what's that stupid small Maverick, the smaller trucks that are like work trucks that they can get around, they're fuel efficient. They are a truck, but they're like $32,000. They weren't building those. They were building $85,000 plus F-150, 250 and 350s going up and like luxury trucks because the margins were higher.
yeah,
And I get it from a like I get it because it's like, okay, well, if we sell a good handful of Fords, then we make our profit back quicker than we will if we sell a bunch of Ford Mavericks.
yeah.
It's like, dude, yeah, people just want
It's not
affordability
it's not
sometimes.
consumer friendly. But also, side note, dude,
No,
trucks being the prices of sports cars has always blew my mind because I didn't realize that until a few years ago. I was like, oh, like it's like, geez, like some
oh,
trucks are
how
just
much trucks actually
expensive, dude.
cost,
Yeah, like some trucks are just
dude?
ridiculous, dude. Like it's like
It
a sports car,
is.
it's the same price. Like
I can
sometimes
talk about
worse.
this topic for a very long time, so I won't get into it right now. All I'll say is I can show you some videos where basically like people identify themselves. Not all, like it's American car centric culture, where people identify themselves as the type of car they drive. Like that's a very known thing. You got car guys, but dude, truck guys, like there's a tire culture with that. Rolling coal. Are you driving F-150? Are you driving a Ford? Or are you one of those Chevy guys?
You go get lifted.
Yeah, and both of them hate Dodge. Don't even talk to them about Dodge. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole different thing, and nobody really mentions GMC, and GMC is the one that's, like, the highest end luxury truck for, like, the guy that owns the business.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like and none of
true.
these guys are none of anybody that buys those trucks ain't working in them, dude.
I
None of
know,
them
yeah.
are.
Like, yeah, you're not buy nobody
None
that
of
owns a
them.
truck buys it for practical reasons. It's like that's what makes it funny. It's
Like,
like
ever, dude.
it's always just aesthetic.
I remember when my buddy was looking for a work truck because he was, like, a superintendent, like, project manager building, residential communities, and I told him, I was like, "Why don't you just go out and buy, like, a 2008 200,000 mile F-250 extended cab, and it's diesel."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I don't really wanna do that." Instead, he went out and bought, like, a $72,000 fully kitted Toyota Tacoma, and it's like, "Dude, you're never gonna go anywhere with that car, ever." He
After
was
you get used
afraid
to
to
it.
tow anything too because he didn't wanna damage it for resale value. It's like, "Why are you buying a truck to resell it? What are we doing?" Oh,
That's
okay.
actually
Anyways,
hilarious.
let's get into RAM here. Consumer RAM loses its appeal. I almost said capital. Loses its appeal. Training large models and running interface, inference, running inference, yeah, inference at scale requires huge pools of fast money memory. I'm losing it, guys. Let me zoom in so I can actually old man status here, and not just storage. GPUs used for AI rely heavily on high bandwidth memory, which is still DRAM, just stacked vertically and tuned for extreme throughput. Every wafer that goes into HBM is a wafer that can't be used for standard DDR5, LPDDR5X, or GDDR6. Once hyperscalers and AI firms started signing massive contracts, memory makers inevitably followed the demand and the money. HBM and the server DDR5 offered long term deals, predictable volume, and far better margins than selling consumers DIMMs, DIMMS, through retail channels. Consumer memory didn't disappear overnight, of course, and it stopped being the priority, something that is clearly visible in today's pricing. DDR5 kit for PCs that sold for reasonable prices only months ago are now listed at amounts that feel closer to high end GPUs than the supporting components they are. There are deals to be found, and then he has a hyperlink probably to like, oh yeah, another Tech Radar link, but they are becoming increasingly rare. Even individual DRAM chips traded on the spot market have multiplied in price over a short span, reflecting panic buying and constrained supply rather than organic consumer demand. Spot prices refer to short-term trades of individual chips between suppliers and buyers, not the finished sticks people buy for PCs. Contract prices reflect longer-term agreements between the manufacturers and OEMs. When both move sharply upward at the same time, it's a sign that supply is tight across the board and that no segment is insulated. And that's exactly what's happening now. As you can see in DRAM exchange, contract prices for notebook memory, have jumped by double-digit percentages in the single quarter. Spot prices for common DDR5 chips have risen 7 times faster than typical seasonal fluctuations. Even older RAM types like DDR3 and DDR5 or DDR4, which should be going gentle into that good night, are getting more expensive as supplies cut faster than demands fade. The result is a market where nothing feels especially safe, let alone cheap. Holy smokes. All right, we got a couple of more things here, and I was hoping this article would actually talk about Crucial. Um, it's kind of setting the tone for what might be the future. All right, Crucial. It's a brand, if you didn't know. It's by Micron. It's like their little branch. A crucial problem. Then when things were looking bad for consumers, Micron made them much worse by announcing plans to exit consumer memory and storage market, killing production of its Crucial branded RAMs and SSDs. Crucial was one of the few consumer facing arms of a major DRAM manufacturer, often acting as a price anchor that kept competitors in check. Many of the PCs I've built or upgraded over the years have had Crucial RAM. The desktop beast I'm writing this on does too. I also have Crucial, by the way. I have a SSD, and I don't actually think I have. I always no, I don't have a Crucial memory stick, but I definitely have
Yeah,
Crucial
got that G
SSD.
skill, baby.
Yeah. Is that Crucial? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It might be. I can't remember.
I don't remember either. All right. Explaining its decision, Micron said the AI-driven growth in the data center has led to a surge in demand for memory and storage. Micron has made the difficult decision to exit the crucial consumer business in order to improve supply and support for our larger strategic customers in faster-growing segments. Micron will continue shipping crucial products until February 2026, which is next month. We're out. But after that, the brand will become a distant, much loved memory. In practical terms, this leaves Samsung and SK Hynix as the only major suppliers feeding the consumer DRAM market at scale, and as many people know, less competition always means higher prices, especially when demand elsewhere is stronger. Samsung's recent strategy shows how distorted the incentives have become, facing intense competition in HBM, where SK Hynix has led for several generations. Samsung reportedly shifted large chunks of DRAM production toward DDR5 RDIMM models. These are server memory sticks, not consumer DIMMs, and they currently offer huge margins. Contract pricing for higher capacity DDR5 RDIMMs have climbed to levels that make them more profitable than HBM without the same technical risk or certification hurdles. Spot prices have gone even higher, suggesting, oh joy, there's further room yet more for increases. Yikes. That is terrible. From Samsung's perspective, allocating wafers to DDR5 server memory instead of discounted HBM or consumer DDR5 makes financial sense. From a consumer perspective, however, it means less supply and higher prices across the rest of the market. SK Hynix has said its plans to ramp DRAM production in 2026, but most of that output is inevitably aimed at AI and enterprise consumers or customers. Very little of it is expected to relieve the pressure on consumer PCs, and certainly not in the near term. The knock on effects are spreading quickly. Graphic cards rely on GDDR memory, which comes from the same manufacturers. As DRAM capacity tightens, GDDR6 pricing is climbing and pushing costs up for mid range and entry level GPUs. Mobile devices use LPDDR, and those parts are seeing steady increases that phone makers will eventually pass on. Storage isn't immune either. NAND flash using in SSDs and memory cards is being pulled toward enterprise and AI workloads. Contract demand for NAND wafers has surged, and customers' SSD prices are starting to creep upward after a long period of decline. Dude, I'm getting bums right now. Are you?
Dude, I had no idea it was like all connected like this. So yeah, no,
I knew
this is
it
a tough
was.
read.
I knew it was pretty connected, but I didn't know it was like, dude, only three companies are basically doing all around, like go in your GPUs, go in all your phones, go in your TVs, go in your cars. Bro, I am buying my next car. Mark my freaking words, is going to be a 1998 Ford Mustang POS, 100%. Or God willing, please let me find a 1986 Toyota Helix. Please. That'd be sick. Just something mechanical, dude. Get me away from the software. It's insane. All right, we got one section here. Hopefully, Wayne Williams over here, the editor, the freelance editor at Tech Radar, turns the franchise around. This part of the section of the article is called "Preparing for What Happens Next." You think it's gonna get better, dude?
I read the first
I hope
sentence and
so.
spoiled myself. So I don't know. We'll see.
Oh no. Not too worried yet? You should be. OEMs are already preparing customers for what comes next. TrendForce reports Dell is planning double-digit PC price increases, and Lenovo has warned that existing quotes won't hold. HP has said that if memory conditions don't improve, the second half of 2026 could bring even higher system prices. This isn't just about enthusiasts paying more for upgrades either. It as it affects schools buying laptops, businesses refreshing fleets, and anyone relying on what should be affordable hardware. There are ideas for easing the pressure, of course, but none are simple. One approach gaining attention in data centers is memory expansion over CXL. As dude, what? As we reported here, devices like Marvell's Structera cards allow operators to attach pools of older DDR4 memories to server over PCIe, effectively reusing retired modules. Compression can stretch capacity even further, turning existing hardware into a larger usable pool and reducing the need to buy new DDR5, at least for certain workloads. It doesn't help consumers directly, but it could slow enterprise demand enough to free up some supply. The longer term fix is new fabrication capacity, but building a DRAM fab costs billions and takes years. Jeez. Micron has announced a $10 billion investment in a new facility in Japan, but it isn't expected to produce chips until at least the second half of 2028. This is one of the things that people don't understand about manufacturing. The facility alone will take years to build, and then you have to freaking educate and get a workforce that can work there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It takes like 3 or 4 years to go from nothing to something. All right, Samsung and SK Hynix ahead of the curve, as always, have their own expansion plans, but none of them will offer quick relief. The other way out of the current mess relies on memory demand cooling. If AI spending slows, or if the economics of large-scale training change, the rush for memory could ease. That would leave manufacturers with excess capacity and drive prices back down, just as happened after past boom cycles, but betting on that outcome means betting on a shift in one of the largest investment waves the tech industry has ever seen. AI might be a bubble, as a number of analysts have claimed, but for now, the trajectory points the other way. Memory makers are being rewarded for serving AI and enterprise customers. Older standards are being retired faster than demand disappears, and consumer brands are shrinking, not growing. Prices are rising not because everyone suddenly needs more RAM at home, but because the same factories are feeding a very different kind of consumer or customer. RAM has gone from a commodity to constraint, and until supply, demand, and priorities change, is very likely to stay that way. Yo, that's
I just have to let
that
this
bummed
sit
me
for a
out, dude.
second. I'm gonna let this sit for a second. I mean, it does sting because, like, because I have DDR4 memory still, so if I want to upgrade to DDR5, ah,
Oh, that's
I
chalked.
better wait, and I hope that 2 years is not bad. 2-3 years, dude. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, the fact that kind of everything's interconnected. I think the worst part about it is like the consumer is going to get hit with this price one way or the other, whether they go DIY and try and build something themselves, or they try to get something pre-built. Because effectively, companies are going to push some of that cost back on the consumer, right? So prices are going to go up for pre-builds, for schools buying laptops, for everything. Like eventually, it's going to someone's going to have to pay the extra cost. That's probably unnecessary, but here we are. So it's just ultimately, it's just such a negative for the consumer, man. And yeah, it buzz me out, man.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to get or build a new PC in the next like year or two, probably.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense either.
No.
They said you
The
might be able
AI
to find deals
usage,
on pre-builds maybe right now, but that just gets more and more rare, like the article said. So it's like you better do it now if you're thinking about doing it.
it's such a shame. We had, I think the last, like, I think nine, hmm, 2019 probably to 2025 will go down as the golden era of PC gaming, I think. And I think we're leaving that era right now, potentially.
That really
Kind of a
depresses me.
bummer. It does. I don't think the games are going to be bad. Like the future, I don't think the future games are going to be bad. I think they're only going to get better. I've always said this that it's actually kind of interesting. I think I've always said that I don't think we're at like in terms of gaming versus hardware. I don't think we're beyond the capabilities of what the hardware's at. I think the struggle now is optimizing the games to work with the hardware because the
Right.
hardware has advanced so much in the
Yeah.
last like 10 years. And quite honestly, some of these games are like 200 gigabytes and they could definitely be condensed. Like there's a lot of crap and
Oh
fluff
yeah.
and nonsense in
So
it.
much bloat, dude.
Um, Yeah, a lot of bloat. It's not optimized. It's just yeah, it's a lot of crap.
It's a lot
But
of crap.
yeah, whatever.
Dude, yeah, there's some games that look great. And yeah, there's some games that just don't run well. And again, optimization. Yeah, I mean, I think developers, you can optimize with the current hardware for sure. This could be the way to go, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, but this whole entire industry pivot to get on the AI wave, I don't think is going to be useful. Um, I don't know about you, but have you ever looked up the AI usage based on season?
Oh, I
AI
actually haven't.
falls AI falls off a freaking cliff when school's not in session.
I mean,
Off a
that makes
cliff. Like
sense.
nobody really uses it.
Yeah,
It's to the point now. It's like how often in your daily life, if you're not working, because there are things that you can like easily do that are just I know what you do for a living, so you can probably throw stuff into AI and you can get like
yeah,
at least in a ballpark of where you should start researching
yeah,
or like get the answers that you need.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
no different than what Google used to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Literally
certainly.
no
It's
different.
it's it's literally just a shortcut to Google in most of my use cases right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the only
Yeah.
the only exception would be like if I need to like write a script or something, and it can give me a script pretty quick. I mean, Google couldn't write me a script, so that's nice, I guess.
No.
But that's that's kind of the only luxury really right now for me. Just yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
time. But
it's a tool that like I feel like there's a whole lot of nonsense with it. Like all these dude, the content creation level of garbage. What's it called? Like they're calling it AI
AI
slop now is the
sloppy.
new trend.
Yeah.
It is I hate it.
Dude,
Like I freaking
uh,
hate it, man.
I see
It's
another.
just
If I see another video of a cat with a tambourine or a cat with a horn unicycling into their quote unquote parents' room playing that thing
yeah,
and
while they're
annoying the
sleeping.
parents. Like if I see another one of those, dude, I'm gonna explode.
They're everywhere. They're freaking everywhere. And there's so many times like people the like the gooner crap too that people take. They'll take some like adult content creator and they'll turn the picture into a video and it's like why?
They agree.
Why?
Yeah, they abuse Grok
Eh,
on Twitter to such a point where it's like they've had to like. Well, I mean, it still happens, but like I think at one point like Grok was like, all right, if you're gonna do like image manipulation in quotes, you have to be a subscriber to Twitter and whatnot. So they're like not letting
Yeah.
just anyone do it now, but it's like still not gonna stop people, right? It's like it's still pretty
No,
easy to
absolutely
do. So
not.
it's like yeah, like that. See, that's the other thing I've seen. It's like that in a combination of like now there's AI models now that can essentially like no green screen, no mocap, anything can turn even a real time camera feed into virtually anybody and make it look
Oh yeah.
realistic to the point where it's like, oh, like you could probably pass, you could probably easily scam some people with that or easily, write false narratives. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it's getting to scary points, and it's the first time where I'm kind of like, oh, okay, this is. I mean, I thought it might get to this, but like, it's advancing pretty quick, and it's not slowing down. So
Yeah. It's gonna keep doing it's gonna keep going. There will be a there's gonna be a pullback eventually. Um it's gonna be so interesting, dude. I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson say this about like it had to be 4 years ago when like the AI stuff was starting to come out and it's being more like out there. I should probably send it to you. It'll bring you back to like not feeling like we're in a doomsday prepper kind of scenario. You said that when AI starts taking things over and people can't tell whether or not something's real or fake on the internet or on TV, we'll go back to an era where people go back to listening to known experts in specific fields. And what he's referring to is lecture halls. People used to go back in the day, scholars in like the Roman times, you would go to lectures to go talk to professors and you would listen to them break things down. Like it'd be like a TED talk. Like that is our version of the modern era. Is you get experts in different fields going up there and talking about something they're really passionate about, and you go listen to them. And that's how eventually universities came. It's like what freaking nobles were. It's like there's reasons for things and why humans gravitate towards certain things. I think it's gonna. I like Neil deGrasse Tyson's take on it because if you can't tell what's real and what's not anymore, then you have to go to people that like are actually Correct.
Like real.
That's like fact. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is real. I need to actually see this person. It's gonna be. I think there's gonna be a huge dynamic shift eventually, where people are gonna be like, "Yeah, that's AI. That's all fake. That's all fake. That's all
Yeah.
fake."
I mean,
And then nobody
like,
consumes it anymore.
yeah. I mean, I
It's
think,
the dead internet theory, basically.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I mean, I think it's the optimistic kind of take on it, but I mean, I think that's like, again, if people want to experience real again, I think it's going to get to a point where people are going to get so fed up. It's like, all right, no more social media. Like, I'm off. And then, you just go
100%.
doing
I'm already
your
seeing
life.
it in my generation.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Already
mean,
seeing it.
let's say, I mean, like, I'm never not going to like go to concerts or like go to a sporting event.
Oh,
Like, I'm
facts.
never not going to do that. Right. Because like, and see, and that's part of what I love about like music and sports in particular. It's like both of those are like very much real. You can't like simulate
Oh
those,
yeah.
emulate them. Like you can't do that, especially when it's like a live event that you can go to and watch. It's like these are humans doing this, and that's part of what makes it so interesting, right? It's like these are like
Oh yeah.
these are top, these are like the 0.1% in their craft, right? And it's like whether it's like
Exactly.
athletes or musicians. It's like so yeah, man. Like I don't know. It's that's never gonna go away, which is nice, I think. So, um, but yeah, dude, I don't know.
Yes, sir.
It's hard to not be doomsday about that kind of stuff, especially like from what I've seen recently. It's like I've gone even more in like the dark hole, I guess. But I don't know. I got to pull myself out of it for sure. I think not get too worked up about it.
There, you got to concentrate more on like the redeeming qualities. I'll say this. One of the coolest things that I've been rewatching. So like, I grew up watching loads and loads of like the History Channel, Discovery Channel, and those documentaries. And I've read all the books and stuff like that. So to see photos or like really, really trashy videos from 1940s Germany, where it was like 15 frames per second, it was black and white, things were skipping all the time, to now they're like optimized using AI and like different technology that they had to make it more fluid and more watchable and colorizing it. Like you can tell, I think they deliberately did it so they were like, hey, this is from a different era, but they really humanize the past
Mm.
because it doesn't seem so far away. It's like
Yeah.
you can really understand, like, oh crap, like these are like everyday ordinary people in this circumstance. Like, could you imagine watching the attack on Pearl Harbor if it happened today in like 4K resolution?
Yeah, I mean,
You
pretty
know what I
nice.
mean? Because that's what you're kind of watching if you go to like these Netflix documentaries of the world wars. It's wild. Um, I think that's could be like a redeeming quality. There's a couple of those moments where you can have redeeming qualities. I think
Yeah, I mean,
there's a yeah.
I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, kind of last thing, but I mean, I think too. You think about AI, and it's like if it could accelerate the study of some like life changing things, whether it's like cancer research or anything to
Dude,
improve
I
human
wish they would do
existence.
that.
Like if you could use AI to accelerate that stuff, I think that's certainly a good use. I mean there certainly are good uses, so it's not all bad. Um, but I mean, I think there's potential for more bad than good in a lot of the scenarios.
Yeah,
So it's, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I just go outside and touch grass, dude. I don't know. Like it's getting crazy, man.
it's a fact. Yeah, just go touch grass. What's the problem?
For real, man. It's crazy.
All right, fam. We have been yapping for an hour and a half. I haven't eaten. You ate your cookout tray. I'm super jealous, by the way.
It's good.
I'll probably get cookout sometime this weekend. I'll need it on Friday. I'm going through it at work, so I'm definitely gonna get it on Friday. But
Right.
let's let the people go. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. All the links are in the description below, including the timestamps. And quite honestly, I felt like we got back into the rhythm towards the middle of the pack of the podcast.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
maybe we'll be a little bit stronger next episode. But we do appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, we post these every single Friday morning on all the platforms that you could possibly imagine. We have video format for those of you that are just listening. It's on YouTube and Spotify. So yeah, I think yeah. I didn't know if there's a third one. Do you have anything to add, Kyle? Just welcome back, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, yeah, welcome back for sure. I don't know. Maybe to combat the AI stuff, maybe on this podcast, throw in a guest or two every now and then. Bring an ep or two back with guests. You know what I'm saying? Just to
Okay.
just to throw it back, dude. I don't know. See how this year treats
Yeah,
us.
get somebody in here to start yapping,
Yeah, dude.
make it
Just
happen.
get a past guest or just someone I don't know, dude. It's been a while since we've done a guest, so previous time we've thrown
it's
an
been
ep or two this year.
yeah. Yeah, we'll go get somebody. All right. Let's let the people go. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been the M2 Podcast. I'm Mike Lansky. And that's Kyle Heath. We'll see you in the next one. Keep gaming. See you later. Take it easy.
Everyone. Bye.
Bye.